If only the Crows could play all their matches at Football Park. For the first few weeks of the 96 season, the Crows devoured any side unfortunate enough to land in Adelaide. In round one, it was the Swans who found themselves humbled by 90 points. In round three, it was an 11-goal win over the Cats.
Jarman, he's got Liptak wide, finds him now. This will bring the joint down if he can kick the goal. Liptak, it'll come back, he'll get it. They'll love this.
When the Crows thrashed Essendon by 96 points in round four, they were on top of the ladder, and the whole state was talking flags.
And Robin plays on, gives it over towards McLeod. He heads for home, there's another one. How good's this, they say?
Darren Jarman was proving the most inspired recruit of the season, kicking bags of goals and picking up 1 million touches en route to All-Australian selection as a forward pocket. His brother Andrew was enjoying his best form in a long time, and Tony Modra, missing so often the season before, was back near his best, kicking goals steadily, if not with his usual explosiveness. Nobody hit the panic button when rounds 5 and 6 saw heavy losses to North and Collingwood in Melbourne. After all, the Crows enjoyed another 96-point victory, this time over Fremantle, when they returned to Football Park. And then it all stopped. The Eagles burst Adelaide's bubble at home in round 10 with a bruising victory, inspired by Dean Kemp's KO by Mark Rasciuto. And then the Melbourne bogey, denied so often by the Adelaide coaching staff, gobbled up the Crows. 39 points up against Hawthorn in the second quarter at Waverley in round 11. The Crows managed to lose, and it was the beginning of the end. Even their home ground dominance was gone. Melbourne beat them at Football Park, and they became easy beats anywhere else. Coach Robert Shaw resigned before the season ended, rattled by the lack of success and attacks on his house and car by so-called fans. Malcolm Blight will be in charge next year, looking for answers to the Crows' travelling horrors. He has the job ahead of him.
Going to miss you, Blighty, aren't we?
Oh, nice touch that. Say something, will you?
Well, I just couldn't believe how serious you look.
I was watching the tape.
It's your new team.
Malcolm, who actually has gone for sure? Anderson, McDermott, McGuinness, Wiedemann and Andrew Jarman?
Yes.
They're the only ones?
Yeah, there are some others, yeah. But basically, I suppose they're the ones that most people would know.
Malcolm, Sean Wren comes up. We all hope that. What do you do with he and Pittman?
This stage, I mean, I really haven't counted Sean. I mean, fantastic if he did come up, so status quo as far as I'm concerned on that.
So Pittman's your ruckman at the moment,
yeah.
and Wren's the bonus.
Yeah.
And Darren Jarman?
Yeah.
A spot for him, a specific spot, or will you just let him float?
No, I think we'll find somewhere for him.
I'm sure you will. Do you want to tell us?
Oh, it's pretty early, Nick. I mean, season's not over yet.
Travelling interstate to Melbourne, is that a fallacy or something that you've got an idea about?
Oh, no, I think we'll do some changes to that. And at the end of the day, I mean, I've said there's 4 goalposts at either and in green in the middle, and I don't see much difference to that, to be honest.
You changing your coaching staff at all there?
There has been some changes made in areas, but generally speaking, the match committee from last year will stay, other than the coach, of course.
Right. Modra, 75, was it enough?
Oh, look, I think they've had a pretty disappointing season. The fact that ball didn't probably get down there as cleanly as it did in other years. I think the games that I saw, he played okay.
The other two with big knees, Costa and Tregenza.
Yeah, they're actually coming along reasonably okay.
The captain, on-field leadership?
Yeah, well, obviously the leaders are gone, so there has been an underneath type of player, which a lot of them are now 26, 27, and I suppose that player will emerge pre-season.
Come back on Talking Footy next year as a coach?
Well, I think we're going to train most Monday nights, Bruce, so it's always going to be pretty tough.
Hey, Mike, hope he answers a bit better next year. We'll have it done. Look, let's go and have a look at...
To the club in 1996 would come an array of talent headed by the mercurial Darren Jarman, runner-up to Greg Williams in the 95 Brownlow. He was home to join brother Andrew. There would be Kim Costa from Footscray, Peter Caven from Sydney and Troy Bond from Carlton. And Scott Hodges would return for another try. Off the list were Maynard, Hall, Lee, Wellman and Ingerson. The Crows would enjoy a magnificent start to the season. They would win their first 4 matches and do it in style. In round 1, they held Sydney to 6 goals and won by 90 points.
The Swans couldn't score down to the right-hand end. Already got a goal on the board, the Crows. One would think that Bond's going to be very close to scoring here from 45 out. It may even just hold up a bit, but he's a thumping kick. And he's drilled it. And he does. Costa, magnificent play. Drives into the pocket, and he finds Darren Jarman. He's right on 50. Is there a bit of magic? He runs around, takes a bounce, runs in, he's going to kick a goal. He'll bring the house down, and he has.
Nice to finish the night with a highlight. In towards full forward, towards Jarman. Look at that kick. Superb stuff. Darren Jarman to boot his second, and as Malcolm said, his side's 20th. 25 metres out. He has finished in a blaze of glory with the 20th goal of the night.
The Jarman brothers kicked 14 between them against Fitzroy, but then a week later took on stronger competition in Geelong, and the Crows were again spectacular.
Finds Costa. Costa's kick is a wide one, but McLeod's got a bit of room. He may not be able to take it too easy. He's able to get past, then gives the hand pass. Wren, simple shot for goal by Sean Wren's, a goal for the Crows. Chance for Caven, gets a lovely little hand pass to Ben Hart. Ben Hart to the goal front. The race is on here between Robran and McGrath. Robran gets rid of McGrath. Handball, Andrew Jarman. Goal, Crows.
Wren about 40 metres away makes the first lead. Jarman decides to go long at the back shoal. McGuinness back on his right foot. This will be close. It looks good. He's got it. Kick to Shane Allen. Nice take. Nigel Smart again. Provides so much rebound from the full-back and half-back line. Oh, Darren Jarman, brilliant on the crowd. Kicks his third.
The low-light, another knee injury to the big bloke Sean Wren, another season on the sidelines. Round 4 in Essendon, and for the first time the Crows had put together 4 straight to open the season. The Jarmans were sensational, kicking 31 between them in those opening 4 games.
He spirals it in towards half-forward, almost the mark to Caven. Oh, they're starting to really blow it around now. Jarman from 50. Jarman fires the goal. He's kicked another one.
Has players in the middle, it's Ellen. Ellen now goes, Hurd should mark this. Over the back, great contest from behind from Modra, falls to Jarman, and he's kicked another one.
Comes out 10 metres ahead of O'Connor. Cockatoo Collins comes in from the side, but he gets his kick. Some high flyers needed. Robran flew high. Picked up by McLeod. A snapper goal. There's another one. 105 plays 19, and they're at it again. Down towards half-forward. It's become far too easy. Jamison's going to kick a goal here. 35 metres out. Thank you very much.
Now goes out wide and picks out McLeod beautifully. Off to Darren Jarman. Darren Jarman kicks, and it's got their 19.
Look, I thought Shuey was tactically a very, very good coach. Had a lot of innovative ideas. As I said, perhaps if he had have been coaching in this era of the more broader support for coaches, well, it might have been a different result.
Losses to North and Collingwood were followed by a win over Fremantle and a strong win over St Kilda. After 8 games, the Crows were 6-2. It was looking good.
They're playing advantage. Lip tack. He's kicked a goal.
He's a centreman, ruck rover type for Hawthorn, but this is where he hurt you.
Gee, the breeze helped. Modra! Tight angle. Breeze to help. Gets it. Maybe the Crows can get one before the last change. Kicked by Pesh to the 50. Caven, a juggle, no mark. McGuinness on his favoured left foot. Robran working to the front. And a mark and Modra. The lead is 13 points. A goal would be very handy. After the siren, he's got it.
This was a heartbreaking season for Coach Shaw, for his men and for their supporters. By the time they met Brisbane in round 14, the season had all but slipped by. There had been galling losses to Footscray, the Eagles, Hawthorn after squandering a huge second quarter lead, Richmond and Melbourne. The Crows had acted tough for the Brisbane game. McDermott and Hodges dropped, so too Andrew Jarman, who decided that enough was enough. He made himself unavailable and was promptly suspended for 2 matches and faced a hefty fine as well. Brisbane would lose by 8 points, and apart from a last hurrah against Fitzroy, but then again everyone beat the Lions in the AFL centenary year, there would be no more wins. It was a shocker of a season.
Good kick to Edwards, that's well played. Oh gee, Edwards going to kick a goal, it's got it.
Gone on to Robin, but it's gone over their head. Robin does well on the ground. Vardy, the youngster, kicks back into Jarman. Oh, this is where it's easy for him. Oh, look out. Put it down. Yeah, there's another one. Make it 5.
After months of speculation, Shaw made his decision after another disappointing season.
There are some personal reasons, I guess, and some factors that have influenced his decision.
Shaw's 2-year stint in Adelaide has been a tumultuous period, both on and off the field. The Crows' decision to appoint a non-South Australian as coach has been a failure, with Shaw offering his resignation earlier this season after his family was the target of abuse. Under Shaw, the Crows managed only 11th last year, and this year, despite a big recruiting drive which netted Hawthorn's Darren Jarman, the club has again missed a finals berth.
The circumstances of the season sort of haven't, unfortunately, given us the results we would have wanted.
The hunt is now on for a new coach, with South Australia's favourite son and Channel 7 commentator Malcolm Blight the favourite. Other possibilities include Neil Baum, Lee Matthews and Mick Noonan.
Football's worst-kept secret came into the open today when Blight was officially installed as the Crows' third coach. 12th position on the ladder was Adelaide's worst finish since entering the comp in '91. The club's hierarchy, however, moving quickly to redress the trend.
Once Robert Shaw made his decision, and we worked pretty hard to get him. We did, of course, have other irons in the fire, but Malcolm was always the priority for the club.
For Blight, it's yet another coaching challenge. After guiding Geelong to 3 grand final finishes in his 6 years from '89, the 2 jobs, though, he says, do have similarities.
People similar, emphasis similar, pretty passionate about their footy. Hated losing for some unknown reason. I could never understand that about supporters.
But Crow supporters may demand more. And while the changes will happen, the competitiveness of the side, he claims, won't be diminished.
I mean, we just have to be pretty keen, pretty desperate, enjoy the challenge of it, and really improve next year. So September action is what you're looking for.
At the club champions dinner, there would be further farewells. New skipper Mark Bickley on stage to farewell his 2 predecessors.
Tony and Chris have both been captains of this football club. They've been honoured as club champions, and they've been selected as All-Australians. What they are on top of that is friends. And friends don't forget friends. And Chris and Tony, we don't intend to forget you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Standing ovation. Well done, guys. Tony McGuinness and Chris McDermott.
Had a meeting with John Reid on the Tuesday, as many players did, and John thought I should go away and consider whether I wanted to continue playing. At that stage I was sure I wanted to continue playing, so I wasn't actually quite sure what that meant. The end result to all that was on the Friday morning, which is 4 days after the Tuesday, I flew to Melbourne and I met with Malcolm for 20 minutes, and I think basically he just felt that I was finished, and perhaps I should retire, which is, you know, his right to feel that way as an incoming coach. I guess as captain of the club, you know, I thought it could have been handled a lot better, but in hindsight I would have handled it a lot different as well. And that was it. It was all over.
5 votes. Also gone was Andrew Jarman, as Blight made his presence felt. The club champion for '96, though, was a worthy winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure in announcing Matthew Liptak as club champion.
This was the worst performance to date. 8 wins, 14 losses, 12th spot on the ladder. The stark reality was 2 wins from the last 14 games, and one of those against the easy-beat Lions. Modra again topped the goal-kicking with 75, and Darren Jarman showed he'd lost none of his magic by being named All-Australian.